I think the one beautiful thing that I've discovered in my life, that our lives here is more quantum process rather than classical process. Even when I was born back in Soviet Union, a country that was basically thought of that will last ages and ages and ages. If you would ask any Soviet citizen how long Soviet Union will survive, people will say forever. So when you were born, it was clear-cut path for you if you were choosing to become a scientist, an artist, a musician, maybe a politician, but politician means becoming a member of the Communist Party. So your life sort of was decided by the fate of being a Soviet citizen. I think pretty boring when you're a 16 years old boy and you want to think about your future, and one thing is absent there, which is freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of making decisions, freedom of things happening, and basically what the thing that you would like while being a Soviet citizen is to live in a world which is not predictable, not a classical world, or sort of a quantum world where things can happen. And while things happening, you cannot predict them, or you can maximum calculate what is the probability of this or that thing happening. But that will give you a lot of freedom, excitement, that will basically help you to make decisions, take responsibility for that, and having an interesting life. I think that's an absolutely wrong approach, because every child has a talent, every person has a talent. The whole story and the whole challenge is in, can you find that talent? Can you help the child to find the talent and develop that child? It's not necessarily you have to have talent in mathematics or natural sciences or humanities. You can have a talent of a craftsman. You can have a talent of a constructor. You can have a talent of a speaker, storyteller, or you can have a great talent of listener, someone that listens and then analyzes. So every child has a talent. So our task is to find a talent and support talent, rather than make out of them sort of soldiers. Make every child a leader. You are running family offices. And the first word is family. Basically, you have to focus on family, because it speaks about continuation, about tradition, about culture that will go from one generation to another. This is completely different than if you have a public company or a company which is owned by specific funds. They have their own model of being successful. While in the family office, and I do believe it's a very, very potent one, because you are transferring not only the wealth that you have or the ownership of this or that factory or a company, but you are also transferring to your next generation also culture, know-how, behavior, and making that next generation healthy. My life experience was when I was a scientist, I started as a scientist from school because I had some talent in mathematics, and born in Soviet Union, I was supported by the system, even at university. Being a good student, we were encouraged by a stipend by the state. You're passing exams, you're getting stipend with good remarks even higher. And basically, if you were top, you're getting phenomenal stipend, which was equal to a salary. But the moment you are true to yourself, realizing that you're just a human, and you have this wonderful opportunity of living a life, because the worst thing is that the moment you start living a pretend life, after a while you start believing what you are pretending. I was a scientist living in Soviet Union. I had to basically work hard and change myself, moving me and my family from back Soviet Union into unknown, which was in the West, completely different culture. Then what happened, Armenia became independent. And I was asked to serve the country. And how on earth, if you are belong to your nation, and your nation has just become independent, how you can say no? And I became ambassador. And I didn't have any education, but I had great teachers. Because I became an ambassador, I had the chance of meeting great politicians, great diplomats, fantastic people. So I was learning. And then life changed. I was prime minister, I knew what I wanted to do. I started doing, then there's another act of God. I got seriously ill, very seriously. So I had to fight for my life. And then I was a businessman. So there is this beauty of living a life which is unpredictable, which is one thing which is certain, which is that everything is uncertain. And you have to navigate in this beautiful uncertain world, because that means every day is a new day. It's not Groundhog's Day every day. It doesn't repeat itself. Changing from science to diplomacy, from diplomacy to government, from government to business, from business back to politics, being president. You have just to remember you are just a simple human. And learn. All my life, I learn every day. I learn from people around me, and that's the excitement of living. Because you learn, you feel young. The moment you think that you know everything on this planet or relations, that means you are already gone, dead. Because that's the key. You learn, you're alive. The moment you stop learning, it's finished. You can make investments based on mathematical calculations. Will you return your money or not? You can take a risk because it's calculated, or you are a gambler. Or you can like this, or you can like the other one. That's the beauty of it. Everybody has to make a choice of their own. Of course, there's nobody that can be absolutely right. And you always remember that there's always acts of God, or there's always a quantum event that will basically eventually decide your success, because you cannot be 100% sure that investing here you'll be successful. Of course, if it's short term, if it's right, you are there, then it's fine. But nobody has a formula forever. You can be successful all your life, you can be very rich, but depends on what is your choice. For the moment, I think that the space of investment, especially for family offices, is, as we can say, the sky is the limit. I mean, you can start from the ground of the earth up to the sky, investing in the space. So that's exactly where you can invest in anything, starting from media, music, construction, real estate, and anything. And that's the beauty of it. I'm not investing now myself. It's my second generation, my family members, my children. But where I would like to see is that into a human, into a person. I mean, starting from health, healthy life, healthy food, healthy environment, and longevity, living long.